What if escaping your past was actually the most dangerous thing you could try? In the world of crime, power, and betrayal, there are no clean breaks, no fresh starts, only consequences waiting patiently in the shadows. Welcome back to the brutal universe of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. This episode wastes no time. It doesn't slow down. It doesn't explain. It throws us straight into the aftermath of chaos and immediately reminds us of one thing. In this world, survival always comes at a cost. We pick up right after the major events of last week. Every character is still bleeding emotionally, even if the streets never stop moving. And at the center of it all is Unique. Unique is trying something dangerous, something unfamiliar. Peace. He is no longer in Queens, no longer surrounded by the noise, the violence, the constant threat of death. Instead, he's living quietly with his girlfriend and their young son. But quiet doesn't mean safe. After the traumatic kidnapping by B-Rilla, his family is shaken. The fear is still fresh. The trauma hasn't faded. And his girlfriend makes one thing painfully clear. She does not want to go back. No Queens, no streets, no old life, just freedom. But Unique is torn. Because when he looks at this peaceful life, he doesn't see home. He sees emptiness. And then comes the confession that changes everything. He admits it. The game is all he has ever truly known. And suddenly we understand the war inside him. A man trying to become a father while still being built like a soldier. But leaving the streets is not that simple, because the streets don't let go easily. And while Unique struggles with his identity, something much darker is unfolding in the background. A storm is forming, and nobody sees how violent it's about to become. But what happens next changes everything. Elsewhere, the consequences of power are already turning deadly. Phil's story comes to a sudden and brutal end. No warning, no escape. This isn't personal, it's business. Stefano Marchetti orders a cold assassination. Phil is ambushed inside his car. Bullets tear through the vehicle in a classic mob-style execution. Fast, efficient, final. No drama, just silence after the storm. It's the kind of death that reminds us, in this world, your importance doesn't matter. Only your usefulness does. And just like that, Phil is gone. Meanwhile, grief continues to rot another storyline from the inside. Marvin Thomas is not healing. He is breaking. He believes Unique is responsible for Lulu's death, and that belief has turned into obsession. Marvin starts paying people for information. Anyone, anywhere, no questions asked. He is no longer thinking clearly. Only revenge matters now. And the more he searches, the more dangerous he becomes. His emotional anchor in all of this is Jukebox. Their conversations are heavy, quiet, painful. Two people trying to survive grief in a world that never pauses to let them breathe. And while Marvin is falling deeper into violence, Jukebox is slowly realizing something else. Grief doesn't just destroy people, it changes them forever. Meanwhile, power dynamics are shifting rapidly in the shadows. Stefano has made his position clear. He wants nothing to do with Rack, and that rejection is going to echo far beyond this moment.
Rack expands her drug business into Manhattan and meets Flossie, who agrees to work with her, but demands a big share of the profits. Rack stays confident, but the deal already feels risky and unstable. At the same time, Kanan's small operation is shut down by the police, and someone may be secretly working against him. He barely escapes arrest, but is now forced into a weaker position. Breeze also tightens his control over Unique, telling him they are partners, but it clearly feels like domination. Unique tries to warn Kanan about Breeze, but Kanan ignores him and doesn't take it seriously. Marvin becomes fully consumed by revenge and kills Akbar while hunting for Unique, showing how far he has fallen into violence. Jukebox ends her relationship with Aisha because they want different futures in life, realizing love isn't enough anymore. Meanwhile, power struggles continue to grow. Rack is expanding, Unique is being pushed out of control, Marvin is spiraling, and Kanan is ignoring major warnings. By the end, everything is building toward a bigger conflict, where every character is heading closer to disaster without realizing it.